Hello everybody. Want some inside tricks on how to color comics? You need to check this video out. Again, it's me, your old pal Max West. As you know, I draw comics and I do children's picture books. And today I touch upon the last part of making comics, coloring comics. I usually work in black and white myself, as you may have seen in a lot of my work. I mean, coloring comics, that presents a whole new technical challenge. I mean, the whole point of comics is to tell a story, or in short ones like this, convey a joke, convey information quickly. What happens is that color, just like with the rest of comics, has to work to convey whatever idea it is you have, be it a short joke, a short story, or a longer story. If the color gets in the way of that, that's it. You've lost your readers. I'm going to talk some about about coloring today, also give you a demonstration. Nowadays, when it comes to coloring comics, the main tool used is the computer. Yes, most of the comics you'll see out there are digitally colored. As again, you know, I'm old school. I work traditionally. Coloring on the computer is probably something you're going to have to figure out on your own, but there's a lot of resources. You can check out other books, such as again, I want to recommend this one, the DC Comics Guide to Coloring and Lettering Comics. Talks about the principles of color, methods as well as the tools you'll need. You'll obviously need a PC or Mac. You'll need some kind of graphics program as well as a computer tablet. Again, check that book out. There's also other videos here on YouTube you can look at. It'll talk more about what to do. I'm going to talk about traditional methods. Now, if you want to color the old-fashioned way, you have a lot of options. You can use colored pencil. There's all kinds of colored inks out there. Here's some colored India inks. I've used these sometimes, and you've also got acrylic inks, just like with acrylic paint. Once these are dry, they're impermeable. A lot of people, especially manga artists, like to use markers. Now there's all kinds of markers out there. You've seen me give marker demonstrations in the past. I know a lot of the manga artists prefer Copic markers. There's all kinds. You have water-based markers like these. You have some of the alcohol-based markers, like some of these. Prismacolors, or some of the generic brands that art store chains like Michaels and Hobby Lobby sell. Well, the purpose of this video, I'm going to demonstrate here the markers. Well, first things first, I got to clean up this page we inked last time. And to do that, I'll be using this handy eraser. The ink is completely dry, so we just erase everything, all the pencils, like so. Also, another thing I want to talk about, color in general. I mean, color specifically, as I said before, has to work with the rest of the comic as you're trying to convey some kind of idea. So this isn't like a coloring book where you can just slap every color down on your comic. Otherwise, it'll just turn into a chaotic mess. I mean, we humans, we're creatures of order. When we look at something, be it a painting, a book, a newspaper, a billboard, an internet website, we look for order. If we can't find order, our eyes and our brains will try to create order. And you know, if you make a comic that's one big mess on the page, you don't want to lose a reader like that. Alright. Usually I ink my comics with India ink. Today I'm going to use a marker. This is a, let me see if we can get a better view here of the page. Hang on a second here. Yeah, let's see. Get in a little closer. Alright. Alright, yeah, that'll do. Now to mask in some of the black on the page, I'm using this. This is a Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pen. Alright, let's just... I usually don't work with color in my work. I work in black and white. Alright. Alright. There you go. Now that that's in, it's time to start coloring. I have a small collection here of various colored markers. I prefer alcohol markers. Let's see here. Hang on, let me just clean this up a little more. Red. We got some red and green here for Lotta. Got flesh tones. See here. Picking all the colors here can be quite a challenge. Start laying down the flesh tones here for Ace. I prefer to buy markers loose. If you don't have an art supply store in your area, you know, like a chain like Michael's or Hobby Lobby, or an independently owned and operated, you can also look online for what you need. Yeah, you can find almost anything on the internet. You know, open stock markers, though they have their advantages, as you essentially can just pick out whatever colors you like. There are, of course, sets, and while some of those can get expensive, especially those Copic markers I mentioned, you know, sometimes it's good that you get a good set of colors. Yeah, a lot of these are double-ended markers. They have small tips as well as big tips for covering in big areas. Of course, for really big areas, unless you want to get one of those, some of those giant markers, it might be better either digitally coloring in with the computer or use something like ink or watercolor. Again, my approach, just like with drawing comics in general, is just to keep it simple. Just like with Johnny Hart behind BC and The Wizard of Id, I just want to keep everything simple, simplify my drawing. I mean, it's also kind of like what I've learned from Mort Gerberg. Yeah, look, he did a very good book on cartooning. I even own a copy of that. You know, just a cartoon is an instant communication of a funny idea. You know, I only like to put in what is necessary to tell the story. That's why, you know, I have a lot of sparse backgrounds in some of my work. Because I don't want the backgrounds to get too complicated. Not only I don't want everything just junking up the page, but I don't want distractions from my characters. Alright. Alright, let's just color in the cleavage here on Lotta. Alright, there we go. See how good that looks? Let's just do her hand here. Just color in Ace, and then I'm going to move on to the next part of the drawing. Alright, yeah. Yeah, that's so one of the another reason why people like the Copic markers is those are refillable. You know, once a lot of these other markers are empty, they're useless. You just throw them away. And while Copics are expensive, sometimes they're worth it in the long run since you can keep refilling those and replacing the nibs. All right. Yeah, so how does that look? Hey, that's pretty snappy work there, isn't it? Alright, let's, now I got the flesh tones in. Just gonna do some work there with Ace. He's a nice head. He's a brunette. He has brown hair, kind of like me. In a way, he is my surrogate. Yeah, working with color takes some getting used to. Again, look up other tutorials online about coloring comics or artwork in general. It's also worth it, you know, just to study up a bit on color theory. Yeah, just like with drawing in general or making comics, working with color is a skill anyone can learn. It takes practice, you know, is learning the proper tools and some research to understand what exactly it is you have to do. There we go. Alright, let me just work in here. Ace's hair on this one. Now, just don't get discouraged. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Anyone can draw. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Don't be afraid of what other people will say. You only learn by doing. Alright. Just going to do the rest of Ace's attire there. Going to use this light brown for his buckskin there. And then some light blue for that neckerchief of his. besides markers, try some other stuff. Try some colored pencil, try watercolor, try inks. If you really want to go for it, you can even try, learning to color digitally. Of course, you'll need the proper equipment. But again, that's a whole other video. We learn only by doing. Learn all that you can. Practice. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to start over. Alright, now that that's done, I'm just going to color in Lotta. Just give her, put some nice red lips there. I usually work with markers when I'm illustrating my children's picture books. In fact, I'll probably, in a future video, I'm going to give some demonstrations of that, because I have to work on Hilda and Richie's next book after this. It's going to be called Hilda and Richie's Wizard. I'll go more over that, though, in a future video. Just have a handful of Kickstarter rewards to send out, and after that I can work on selling my picture book. Already working up some deals to get some libraries to carry the book, as well as a couple of sales to bookstores, and maybe even some book signings, dare I say. But we'll talk about that another time. Right now, my concern isn't Hilda and Richie, but coloring this Poison Ivy Gulch comic strip. Alright, let me just do the green here for Hilda's dress. I'm just going to color in the spoon, the plate, and, well, the chunky soup there, and then we'll be done. It's one of the things of color theory, complementary colors, colors that oppose each other. Red and green. There's a good reason why redheads, like Lotta here, are often wear green. I mean, the colors just go together well. And they provide a good visual contrast. I mean, yeah, look, the green and the red. I mean, your attention there was really drawn into Lotta there. Other complementary colors are purple and yellow and blue and orange. Yeah, with Hilda and Richie, I know I said I wouldn't bring them up again, but yeah. Hilda, they're red foxes. I color them orange. Hilda usually wears purple, but I've shown her in light blue dresses. And Richie usually gets a blue shirt. Yeah, and that provides a very good contrast there. Alright, there we go. That's left. I'm going to color in that spoon there as well as the plate. This is a very dark gray I'm using. Probably have to switch over to a lighter shade of gray for the plate there. Let's see what we've got. 10% gray. We'll try a cool gray 40%. Another good thing about markers is there's such a wide variety. There's, all kinds of grays, all kinds of reds and blues and greens and yellows and purples and oranges, all kind brown and all kinds of colors. Again, look what's out there. Try different combinations of colors. We're just going to color in that chunky soup there. Enjoy your meal, Ace. Yeah, this is a very old marker. This is just about dried out. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to chuck this one after I finish. Well, there we go. Just going to sign it here. And that, friends, is how you color a comic traditionally by hand. Well, people prefer digital, but I prefer traditional, just like that there. Just get a nice shot of that, and there we go. Well, that does it for this video. Hit the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel. Hit that bell icon to be notified of new videos. If you want to check out more of my work, just follow the links below in the video description. Until next time, friends, it's me, your old pal Max West, saying goodbye.